Now, it is Armistice Day today, and the Tower of London is being lit up with a light show in remembrance of the military personnel and civilians who died in the First and Second World Wars.
The display includes poppies, but also some of the images of those who served, along with music from the time. Our correspondent Tim Muffet went to see it.
During the darkest hours, they fought and died. For their country, their loved ones, and for us, the generations that followed. Now, at the Tower of London, in the darkness, they are being remembered with light.
This is such an important site historically, over 1,000 years of history. So when we actually place artwork in here, we are trying to create art historic content that works with this living, breathing space.
Artist and sculptor Peter Walker created the stunning visual effects.
The poppies behind us is really a way of placing us back in the First World War. It allows us to walk in the footsteps, as it were, of the soldiers as they walk through. So we can take people on an immersive journey through remembrance, but also on very personal reflection.
Their flowers, the tenderness of patient minds.
To drive remembrance, we're using the words, the sounds, the music of that era. We also pay tribute to civilian loss, with 16 million falling leaves that cascade across one of the buildings here. We have some recitation by Eddie Redmayne of poetry, which is really beautiful.
Who thinks of June's first rose today? Only some child, perhaps, with shining eyes and rough bright hair will reach it down in a green, sunny lane.
The Tower of London has played a key role in our national story. At various times, a royal residence, a prison, and of course, home to the crown jewels. The White Tower, the most famous building here, was built in 1078 by William the Conqueror.
We think of the Tower of London as this building hundreds, nearly 1,000 years old, but it had a more recent role relevant to this display.
Absolutely. The Tower of London has been an important royal fortress for almost 1,000 years, but that military role has never gone away, and it especially came to the fore during the First and Second World Wars, when it was a place of recruitment, a place where soldiers were trained. Thousands of soldiers were stationed here as well, and even formed part of the city's air defences. So it's a really important part of the Tower's history, and probably one that's known less well to many of our visitors.
One part of the Tower's history that's known very well is the presence of that special group who've guarded it since Tudor times, the Yeoman Warders, or Beefeaters as they're nicknamed.
All of the yeomen here at the fortress are all veterans. We've all served at least 22 years in the armed forces, so we come from the tri-service background. We've all attained the rank of warrant officer and hold a long service and good conduct medal.
And what's it like living here? Because you live here as well, don't you?
We do. We live here with our families, which is quite something. So we've got everything from toddlers to teenagers running around at night.
What's it been like looking around and seeing these incredible projections?
It's such a poignant time of year anyway, but to see the poppies come alive, dancing on people as they walk past you is it's very emotional, actually. It is that time to reflect and to remember.
As the world wars pass out of living memory, reflecting and remembering feels especially important. At the Tower of London, it's being done in a spectacular way. Tim Muffet, BBC News.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's just incredible as well. We're saying those early nights when it's darker earlier, but when you get to see amazing things like that, it makes
it's worth it.
Worth it, doesn't it? It really does. It's incredible.